Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome an accomplished fintech entrepreneur from Jaipur, India, Mr. Pravin Sharma. Pravin, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir, for me being part of such a widely show which you are hosting, and I think you're bringing and kudos to you. You're bringing the stories of a lot of entrepreneurs, and I think that's a commendable work. I've been watching your shows, and I think to be part of this is really a privilege.
Thank you. Now, it's very kind of you. It is entrepreneurs like you who make the brand called you into such a big and widely seen show. So, Praveen is the founder and chief executive officer of Getepay, which is a digital payments platform, and he's also a member of TAI Rajasthan. So, Praveen, before we start talking of Getepay, tell me about your journey and what inspired you to venture into digital payments.
So I think started pretty early. I think my first job was at the age of 15 when I started as a company secretary trainee. I think few years I did that, then realized no, this is not the work I should be doing. It's not exciting enough,
Mm.
monotonous work. So I think that's where I moved into the technology side of it. Launched the first technology platform for a stockbroking house in Kolkata,
Mhm.
headed a mutual fund division, then moved to the exchange side of it,
Mm.
and then moved to payments in 2007-8. I think at that time, payments in digital payments was at a very niche stage
Right.
and was privileged to be part of certain firsts in India. Was part of a lot of committees, was part of a organization which eventually got sold to a international brand which is there in more than 50 plus countries. So I think that's where the payment journey started. But I think wanted to do more onto the payment side of it. Instead of doing vanilla payments, I thought let's do something which is exciting, which is more deeper association with the merchants and the ecosystem. And I think and it was the right age also. I think started when I was 28, 29. I thought let's jump into it, and I think because I think that's the best time to do it, because you have the energy to travel, you have to do, because say entrepreneurship requires a lot of energy, a lot of motivation. The body language and everything has to be strong, because otherwise it will not be possible to go through it. It's not that straightforward easy that okay, even if you have money in the account, it requires a lot of mental strength also to go through it. And I think that's how the journey started.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit now about Getepay and what are you doing in Getepay?
So we are a payment platform. We are the first. Proudly, we are the first payment aggregator in Rajasthan who got the in principle approval from Rajasthan. We have built it from Jaipur, from scratch, where we have been pioneering. We have pioneered a lot of things as innovation into the payments, working with NPCI and the banking partners. More than 150 plus banks partner we work with, and say the differentiator is our way of seeing the payments. Instead of giving vanilla payments, we have bundled it with solutions, and we are giving to our set of merchants, different categories of merchants, trying to solve their problems rather than trying to solve our problem, or yeah, we are trying to solve the problems of the merchants, the real problems of the merchants,
Mm.
giving them the solutions, giving them the required tools where they can go digital and empower their business in this era. Because I think if you see since the COVID days, things have really changed into this perspective where, say, earlier we used to push the solutions. Now it's the merchants who comes and they demand this is what I need. So I think that's pretty exciting.
Very interesting. And you mentioned that you are the first person who got a payment aggregator approval from the RBI. What is the meaning of it, and how significant is it for Getepay?
So it holds a very important aspect for us, because say when we applied to this, the story of even applying is nothing less than a miracle. There are a lot of people who have been part of the journey. Can't thank them without naming a single person. There are a lot of people who have been part of this journey. But I think this holds a big important milestone for us, because say to be recognized by a regulator, because see digital payment is, say people, we are holding people's money, correct? The money is getting transacted to our platform. So money is an emotional thing for a lot of people, correct? So security wise, compliance wise, people, so when you are a regulated entity, approved entity, I think that's a very important milestone when you go to the market.
Mm.
So the banks, the partners, the merchants in the ecosystem start recognizing you. Yes, you are there, and yeah, because say prior to our in principle approval in November 2022, a lot of people would not have thought that a small company like us in Jaipur can get the license and can provide this kind of solutions to the merchants and the partners. But now I think people have started recognizing, and we are partnering with a lot of big players, working with them, providing them the solution. I think that November 22 milestone of getting the in principle approval will always be a very important aspect of our journey.
Absolutely, and congratulations for that, Praveen. My next question is that, you know, and I don't understand finance fintech very well, but help me understand what are some of the innovative payment solutions that you have developed for Getepay?
So I think what we have done is say we are not, say everyone is doing payments yeah, I think almost more than 100 people have applied for the license. Most of them have got also. There are very big players, big brands already established into this, who are valued also big time. So I think the differentiator has been the innovation. What we have brought in is that, say instead of giving vanilla payment options, which were always there, correct? So still today also the payment options are there. So I think two three things which we have done differently is, one is the model of giving a integrated platform to the businesses, where different aspects of their business is taken care. Apart from payments, payment remains the heart of our solution, yes. Second is the way we acquire the merchants in partnership with our partners and entities across the country. So that gives us the advantage of going and increasing our reach.
Mm.
And third is the hunger which is there, that because say we don't have anything other than our product, other than the innovation, we don't have anything to deliver to the merchants. I think that has been the USP.
That's fascinating. And how would you say Getepay differentiates itself from a lot of other platforms that are available in our country?
So I'll tell, say there are a lot of people, when they say, when you ask the question, this is the simple question which the investors and other people also ask: how you're different. So I think first of all I want to make it clear, and I think this should be the message from all the entrepreneurs who are there into the payment system is, say there are no competition in the payment space.
Correct.
Say India is such a scale, at the scale of the country like India. Uh, uh, there is opportunity for everyone, correct? So there are players, and we have never thought of, believe me, I don't want to add the slide also, the competitor analysis into my pitch deck.
Mm.
Because there is no competition with anyone, correct? So we are providing our solution to our set of merchants, somebody else is doing, and everyone is doing a wonderful job into the payment system,
Mm.
taking, because say payments is not only we it's not for us to, if you see the digital India initiative or digital payment initiative, it is being powered by these payment aggregators. A lot of entrepreneurs have taken loans, they have taken everything, they have done everything to take this to the next level. So the I think this is one thing which I would want to say, is that say there is an opportunity for everyone,
Mm,
and let's work together and take this to the next level. And say we the only thing which we focus as a company is how different we are to our merchants.
mm,
I think every day we are trying to innovate for our merchants. We are not trying to innovate to be ahead of our competition. We
mm.
are innovating for to be ahead for our merchants, where we are able to solve their problems. We understand their problems. We talk to them, we meet them, and I think that's how we have been able to deliver.
Very interesting. And what a good response. Thank you. Praveen, my next question is, what are some of the most critical aspects of risk monitoring in digital payments? And how are you managing these in Getepay?
See, risk is, I think, risk monitoring in payment is the most important. I'll say it's a backbone. If you don't monitor the risk, because say frauds and if you see over the years, the more the digital payments have increased, the more different types of frauds are also increasing every day. The fraudsters are coming with new schemes, new ways of cheating the doing frauds for of payments, because say and it has become easier also for them, because earlier cash driven economy, you have to so it was like people on the street snatching money from the people. But now I think it is and that is you can do with few people, correct, in the daylight. But for a digital scam to happen, you can loot many people
Correct.
throughout the day, and I
Yeah.
think that's what has happened. But I think risk monitoring of the transactions, monitoring the merchants, the compliance is very, very important. And I think the regulator has also done a commendable job of drawing the guidelines, that what should be. They have been stringent, but I think it's good to be stringent rather than be lenient and having yeah. So if you see, I feel that risk monitoring of the transactions and having the tools, the right tools, we have been building our own tools to monitor the risk of the transactions, manage different aspects of the transaction cycle, which is there, the transaction origination from the settlement to the merchant,
Mm.
and post settlement also, post transaction factor also, we are monitoring the transactions. So I think and we have a quite big team and a good team who is doing it, and we are I think we take this very seriously as a company.
Fascinating. So my next question is, and I'm sure you've been asked this many times, but in the classical banking system, there was always trade settlement, payment reconciliation, and so on. How does this work in a digital payment system?
So I think it's so again, RBI has regulated this earlier when we started as an entity, when the businesses were not regulated prior to March 2017, March 2020. There was no regulation, correct? You simply could have gone to a bank, do a tie-up, open a nodal account, and start offering the payments systems by integrating with various payment options, various acquirers in providing the payment modes, different payment modes. So I think then also, yes, the settlement was important, and it was monitored by the nodal bank, who on the end was reporting to RBI. The cycles were different. There was the different cycles, T+1, T+2, T+5. I think I have seen days where the money was going to the merchants in 5 days, 7 days. But I think thanks to the new regulations and the innovation which has happened, there are payment modes, there are transactions where the money is going to the merchant on the same day of doing the transaction. Rather, I'll say within few hours or few minutes of the transactions, the money is going to the merchant. So I think the more empowering you are doing to the merchants on the settlement side of it, that's how you have seen the transactions have increased into the digital space. Because say the money, like if you are doing a cash transaction or account to account transactions earlier, you are getting the money instantly, correct? Whereas the digital payments were coming at a with a days of delay, correct, delays. But now it is coming instantly, so the merchants are also using this as a payment option and doing a lot of transactions. And trade and settlement I've learned since my early days into stock market, where the transaction settlements used to happen
Correct.
post the market, and next day the payments were getting exchanged between the buyers and the sellers. And I think learned that cycle very initial stage. Then into the exchange side also, I've seen millions of transactions getting settled, and that ecosystem was there. So I think to build up for Getipay, I think I take that advantage of being onto the exchange side and the broking side of it. I think that has helped.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So the next question, Praveen, is that finance, fintech are regulated very, very heavily by the Reserve Bank of India.
Yeah.
What are some of the significant regulatory challenges that the payments industry faces, and how do you and GetEpay navigate these?
So yes, I think first of all, I'll say that, say there are no challenges of being getting regulated. I think it is good to be getting regulated. We Because say for companies like us, like say when you have money power, you're a big player. Nobody will even ask you that are you regulated or not. Correct. So what will happen? I'll tell you an example. When we started payments, when we used to go to few set of merchants initial days, the first thing they used to ask, you're not regulated, what will happen to my money if
Yeah.
the transaction happens and the money doesn't come? We used to tell them, sir, this is the nodal account, this is how the transaction happens, and we have to explain. We used to explain even for a smaller merchants, to get them on board was not that easy, because we were
That,
not regulated. Nobody used to
mm,
believe that yes, the money is coming through a proper channel, and we don't have any accountability on that money. The money goes directly to the merchant. We are just we are just earning a small pie of the commission which we earn on the transaction, and on so few payment options we don't even earn. Correct. So but we are giving the service overall to the merchant. So I think being regulated has helped that people now start, even the banks and the ecosystem merchants, they have started believing, yes, this is a regulated thing. If anything happens, the regulator is there to help them. So I think that has yeah. So I'll not take this as a challenge. I will take this as a blessing of the regulator, that they came up with the regulation, and they have regulated entities into the payment aggregation space. Second is, yes, it is, certain times you will feel that yes, it is, the regulator is stringent, tough on us. Certain times you will feel always, because say, because if you see compliance, anyone into the compliance will always take them as a cost. Yeah, so they nobody takes this as a business, correct? So compliance doesn't generate business, but I think we have a different philosophy as a company. We feel that, say, if you're not compliant, if you will not be into, in the long run you will not be into the business.
oh,
So
absolutely.
personally I feel that yes, it's good to be regulated. Yes, sometimes you will feel toughness, you certain things will be stringent, certain things will burn your pocket uh, big time, because being a small player into the ecosystem, you will always feel, let's do business first, and then we will manage on the compliance. But thanks to the board, the investors, I think everyone into our investor list has always thought of one thing, and they have supported also that yes, let's be compliant, let's do less business, that's okay. But I think business at the cost of compliance we have not done. So I
Mm,
think I don't feel this as a challenge, and we feel that yes, yeah, there are things which we go to the regulator, we tell them. Uh, I think the PCI Council and the regulators, they keep on meeting us also in different modes and different ways of meeting us, where we keep on raising our voice also, and I think they have been good enough to hear our voice also. So I
yes,
think there are no challenges into it. It is good to be regulated.
absolutely. And as a consumer, I can certainly say exactly what you're saying, that as a consumer, good regulation is always very reassuring for the consumer.
Yeah.
My next question is this whole concept of prepaid wallets that have
Mm.
now come in. How do the prepaid wallets fit into the broader global digital payments ecosystem?
So I think prepaid wallet is not new. It is not that recently it has come. It has
Yeah.
been there. I think there are a lot of people who have pioneered their payment business onto the prepaid wallets. Correct. They have become giants into the ecosystem by launching their own wallets and
Mm,
providing it. The RBI also has. And from day one, prepaid wallet has been a regulated business. So
mm,
I think there are a lot of people who have been into this, and I think if you see the Western countries globally, I think prepaid wallets are there, and people load the money and use this
mm,
very effectively. Correct. So I think wallet has a long way to go from here, because I think our wallet usage is not that great in terms of, if you compare a smaller country. More developed, but I think a smaller country like Singapore, if you go, you launch you use the wallet, you can go to the metro, you can
mm,
go to different places, correct, without even carrying anything, correct. So I think the wallets are doing good, and I think with UPI coming into and now you can use wallet onto the UPI
mm.
enabled merchants also, whoever, you can scan your wallet and make the payments. I think going forward, wallet business will grow from here.
Very interesting. So, Praveen, I have time for two more questions. My next question is, what do you see as the role of blockchains and cryptocurrencies in the future of digital payments?
So I think so. If you see, RBI and the government has different views on
Correct.
the cryptocurrencies. The good thing is we have launched our own crypto currency, our own digital currency, CBDC,
Yeah.
which has been recently launched, and it is in the pilot stage. But I think it will take some time. But I feel yes, it will do with the push from all of us. I think not only the payment aggregators or the regulator alone. I think the banks, the merchants, even the customers, correct. So you like, think you as a customer, you load a digital money and use that at different places without
Mm,
even carrying your card, or even don't you don't have to do anything. So I think it will take some time. It's not going to be yeah, if you see in UPI also, when UPI started, there was
mm.
no takers for UPI
Correct. Correct.
at the initial stage, correct. But I think the COVID scenario changed everything.
Yeah.
I think whatever UPI is today is because of this COVID.
Mm.
Yeah, so blessing in disguise, we got it,
True.
and I think now I think it's no stopping. It's like so I think every month there are new milestones which is coming onto UPI, and I think even people are even thinking what kind of infrastructure you have to set up to provide this
Correct.
kind of a volume and support this kind of a volume. So I think in the next couple of years, specifically, you will see CBDC becoming a very, very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not against or pro crypto. I think people. I think whatever you say in favor or in against goes in a wrong direction. But I think CBDC. I feel CBDC will play a very, very important role.
Fascinating. And my last question to you, as the founder of Getepay, where do you see Getepay in the next few years?
So I think as a person, I'm not that kind of a person who draws that, okay, what I'll have to do in in the next 5 years
Mm,
or 10 years. I think yes, there are business plans you make for year on year, correct, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years plan you make it. But I think the most important part is to be part of the ecosystem, remain in the ecosystem for the next 5 years, enjoy this journey, delivering this. See, payments is not about money, correct? Because it's about money only. It's not about your own money, but it is about people's money.
correct. Correct.
Managing that, being part of it, being disciplined, being don't get aggressive onto the business side of it, missing the compliance onto it.
Mm,
To be part of the ecosystem, we say down the line we say personally, I want to be there into the ecosystem for the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever time I can be. and provide the solutions to different categories of merchants. I think that's the vision. And I think with that vision I started Getipay, that wanted to do something for our own. You have a wonderful feeling when you come to office and see that okay, things are happening the way you want to happen, and you feel good about it, correct, that this is my own brand. Say, I'll not say baby or something, but I think it's a great feeling of being there. I think, and I want to continue. That feeling should be there. That hungerness should remain down the line 5 years. The same adrenaline rush should be there. That yes, that whenever we launch a product, whenever we launch a feature, I think that aggression and that energy should be there. I think that should be the focus of every entrepreneur. I feel that say I think it's not about that how you're valued or how much you're valued, how much you are done as a in the business side of it, because say every business when you sit in the hat of yeah, you wear the hat of a business person, you will always think okay, this is the margin, this is the business I want to do, this is how we want to grow. I think that is always there, but entrepreneurship is not only about money. I feel it's
Yes.
about that energy, that feeling, and to continue doing that, because I think one thing I've noticed that when you start the journey, that energy is there, and for I think in the next few years it starts fading away from a lot of people. I think that should not fade away. And touch wood, I think if I can continue what I'm doing today, down the line 5 years, I'll be more than happy.
Oh, wonderful. Praveen, on that note, thank you so much for speaking to me about your own journey. Thank you for speaking to me about Getepay. I mean, I think we covered a lot of different aspects of what you and your team have been doing to build Getepay. I love your vision for the company. I'm amazed at how clear you are on where you want to go, what are the services you can offer to the customers. I wish you all lots of success. I hope to see Getipay, not just in Jaipur, not just in India, but maybe globally someday. All the very best, and thank you for speaking to me.
So I think thanks to you, sir, for bringing out the emotions. To yeah, we have built this company with a lot of emotions, with a lot of hard work from a lot of people. It's not me alone.
Yeah.
I think I represent the entire team of Getipay, who has been working very hard. Our people deliver days and nights to get us to this level. So I think to bring this story onto the table, I think thanks to you, kudos to you for the work you are doing. I think would be a privilege to meet you in person as well.
I look forward. Thank you, Praveen.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.